Welcome back. So what we have so far is we have, for the shooting, and we have the ammo counter, and we also have the crosshair that's expanding that we did in the previous video. That was the latest video that we worked on. So as we are sprinting, it takes the velocity of the player and it expands the crosshair. Now, it's another task where we are going to place the crosshair exactly in front of the muzzle, or make it look like at least it's in front of the muzzle. But that's for later. We got the base covered by expanding the crosshair and all that, and it's all good. But once the player has shot off all his ammo all over, he has nothing else to do. He has to restart the game right now. So every shooter, every first person shooter has some form has an ability, gives the ability to the player to recharge his ammo stash, be it by pickups where he just runs over one of those classic Call of Duty games where there were ammo and health pickups on the ground, lying around the ground. So you could just walk over them and you just pick up ammo. You just pick up health, and for ammo you usually used to pick up. You used to run over dead soldiers, and their gun ammo used to come for your gun. And sometimes they also had these ammo symbols on the ground or out somewhere out on the top of some object where you could just go and pick it up. Where you're in the close vicinity, you can simply pick it up. So that's something that's also missing. I mean, a bunch of things are missing, but we are getting there one step at a time. And so we have the ammo counter and everything, but we are giving it a basic ammo. But what if the player runs out of ammo? So he should be able to replenish his ammo and continue with his game. So we'll be writing the logic in this video for ammo pickups, where there'll be little boxes or some sort of triggers where he just has to walk in, and some sort of graphical representation, so the player knows where to walk. And once he walks in there, as soon as he walks in there, something like this trigger where he walks in, and there's a pain volume. And of course, I still have the pain volume enabled, or the rendering of the pain volume enabled, but obviously it's gonna get off while you just have to uncheck the hidden in game, or actually check the hidden in game instead of uncheck it. So that way even this will go away. But and also there will be ammo pickups or ammo boxes scattered around the level. So it'll be a single blueprint class where you can simply pick it up. It'll be a reusable class, of course. So even if you start a new level and build your own landscape and all that, and you can scatter it around in your level, and it's still going to behave the way it is going to behave here. So let's work on that, and let's create ammo pickups, and let's help the player replenish his ammo once he runs out of it. Okay, so I'm going to close that, and let's get started with that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the blueprints, and like we have the pain volume inside here, I'm going to create another blueprint class. This will be again based off an actor, and let me actually go cancel that and go to assets, and instead, the blueprints out here and inside weapons. So it's not a bad idea to actually create your ammo pickup blueprint classes inside the weapons folder. So I'll create a new one out here, and I'll call this AK-47 ammo pickup, or I'll just call this ammo pickup underscore AK-47. So I'm prefixing this blueprint class with ammo pickup. So when the next rifle, when we implement the M4A1 or maybe something else in the future, if you implement something else like an RPG, then all you have to do is change the suffix from AK-47 to, I don't know, M4A1 or RPG or whatever. Okay, so once I've created that, it's based off an actor. I'll open that up, and right away I'll give it some graphical representation. So I'll have a static mesh component. Okay, I'll have a static mesh component, and I'll use something for the representation, the graphical representation, maybe a cone. I don't know. Let's see if I have a cone. Okay, and there's a shape cone, there's a fog cone half. I don't know what that is. Oh, okay, no, not this, something else. Let's say cone, and I'll go for shape cone. So I think that's okay, and I'll just give it some material instead of the basic wall. I'll give it some colored material if I have any there. Let's see, widget material Z. Okay, so that's blue in color and I'm okay with that. Now please note that you can go ahead if you already have something, for ammo assets, like maybe a mesh of a gun or maybe even a widget that's more like a sprite, a two-sided sprite, says the word ammo or something that looks like a little magazine, whatever. So you can use yours, but for now I'm going to use this just to separate out the other elements from the ammo pickups. And if I want, I think I can go ahead and go for a text render and just call this AK-47 ammo or something. I don't know. So if I just pull that up and F to get closer, and let me say AK-47. The text would be AK-47 ammo. Okay, and let's also make this 0. I'll make this like this, somewhere here. That would be 60. 60 is good enough, and 110. Okay, and of course you can't see it from the other side. So I think, let's see if I can hidden in game, cast shadow, HLOD, include component. Okay, text render color, text scale, word size, text material, and let's see if I can make this both sided. So let's first compile this, and I'm just gonna try and place this somewhere in the level to see that the size and everything is right. So it's facing this side. Now, of course, I want this to be facing me at all times so that I know what I'm looking at. If I'm looking at this, I might not. I know, yes, it's not very difficult to decipher that this reads as AK-47, but that's not good design. So we'll have to write a little bit of code to. I hope it's in the ground. I don't know. Yeah. We have to write a little bit of code for this to face us at all times. Okay, so let's go back to our ammo pickup. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close the dynamic crosshair. I'm going to close the HUD for now. Weapon base and player, I'm going to keep it. And this, I'll go over to the event graph. Okay, and the first thing is I'll call this label ammo type. Ammo. I think I'll call it ammo type. That's okay. So first I'll say get player camera manager. All right, so once I get that, and then I'll say get location, get actor location, right? And then I'll get this guy and I'll say get world location. Okay, and now we have to subtract these two vectors and then make a rotator out of these and then make a rotator out of the vectors or of the resultant vector. So I'll say subtract. So I'm subtracting this vector from this vector, and from here I'll make it a rotator. Okay, I'll say make rotator. Let's see. Okay, so let's make a rot make rotator from X, because we just want that to spin in X axis. And from here I'll just say set actor rotation, right? And once that's taken care of, all we need is the tick. So all of this is going to happen every frame. So I'm just going to dump it here and connect this to the tick like that. And I don't really need to do anything here. So let's see. I'll hit compile, save, and then I hit play. And you can see that it's actually rotating. It's actually facing me. You can see that it's rotating, but just that the text is facing the wrong way. So we quickly go back there and get this ammo and spin it around by 180 degrees. I think that would be around the Z axis. So I'll say 180 degrees and I'll just bring it back here like that. And let's see. I guess that should be okay. Yep. So minus 65. Compile that. And let's play that. And there you can see that as I'm rotating, no matter where I go, this is going to spin around. Now, I do not, I don't want this guy to spin. I just want the label to spin. So I'll go back and make a quick correction here. So I'll just bring this back and I'll say set rotation or set world rotation. Yeah. And I'll just cancel that out. Bring this in. Okay. Bring that up a little bit. Connect the event tick to this. And then give this the rotator and let's see what happens. And I hit play now. And there you go. And okay, that's because the pivot point is not around in the center. Alright, you know what? I think I'll be making my actor spin. That's okay. Maybe we can change it later on. So this should be okay. Alright, fine. So I don't mind if the cone is spinning. It's still okay. Okay. So like when we walk around this, and of course this has to be just a trigger, and so we'll change that. That's okay. Okay, so if you notice that we are not able to walk through this, okay, and that's because it's also I believe it's also got some physics and all that in there. So I'm gonna go over to the static mesh, and in here I'm gonna say I'll look for the collision, and I'll say from block all dynamic I'm gonna say overlap all. Okay, I'm just gonna say overlap all, and then it also generates overlap events. So now when I and let me also look at the label ammo type if there are any collision issues here. I don't think there's any collision here. Okay, fine.